Hello, everyone. So, once again, this is the Cedar log, and I'm still Reese Wallace last time I checked, which is good. So, a little different today. I might sound a little different because we usually record episodes in kind of like in batches, we'll say. Well, technical difficulties and realizing we missed something um, kind of left me to record it myself so Luke can stay on top of other stuff he's doing because he's kind of getting busy with different things and we're at school now, so it's a whole thing. Regardless, we have to finish up our Delmont series, so play the intro, I guess. Okay, so episode 6. So we kind of left off in the 1960s. So 1960s saw the construction of Woods Lane, Danbeard, and the Castle Rock cabins, which I feel like most people know those cabins. They're pretty commonly used. I know Castle Rock, my troop typically stays at. In 1966 saw the removal of Topsail, the White House, Carlson Cabin, Council Lodge, and Sutton Cabin as inspectors from National deemed them dangerous. So that's kind of when all of those went away. And then that same year, adventure camps began at Delmont, and they focused on aquatics, ecology, Indian lore, and they would go on until the 1980s. So in 1970, Pioneer Camp, it's the wilderness program aspect of Delmont, if you remember. So Pioneer Camp was closed due to decreasing numbers um, overall, and then kind of and explain like scouting kind of was declining nationally as well, number wise. So that naturally was going to be felt by the council and camps. And then in 1972, saw the opening of Funk Cub Camp on the upper parts of Delmont, kind of like where Eli Farm is, and it served as a Cub day camp. It would move to Pioneer Camp as they needed more and more facilities. 1972 also saw the beginning of Cub Dad weekends, and those weekends would turn into Cub Parent weekends to include the whole pack. And in the spring of 1972, Delmont hosted Canadian Scouts as part of the Scope Olympia program. Uh, Knowlbrook Lodge was built in 1973 by the Howard Pugh Estate as a center for handicapped scout activities. So you kind of see like Delmont started to have more Cub Scout focus stuff, and then they were still, continuing that strong um, offering and also accommodations for handicapped scouts, so that that way they can fully participate. And then, sadly, actually, in 1974, Delmont saw its last official summer as a fully staffed summer camp. And then, the 70s went on, and then they actually started a Webelos camp at Delmont in 1978. And we kind of move into the 80s because a lot of this stuff kind of blends together. So in 1982, Delmont reopened as a summer camp, and it ran only from August 8th to 14th due to some troops simply wanting to return to Delmont. And others not being able to make the trip to Resca. So people were kind of longing the camp back at Delmont, so they kind of opened for that brief window to let people do that. And 1983 saw Delmont and Scouting's first female ranger named Peg Mayberry, which is pretty cool. And 1984 began weekend programs hosted by the camp masters. So this included activities such as nature, first aid, shooting sports, wood carving, horsemanship, fishing, etc. So you see a lot more weekend programs being done at Delmont, just because in the council, it's closer than Resca Falls would be for Valley Forge Council. So it's kind of easier, I guess, for weekend camping. So they kind of used it more and more for that purpose. And then capital campaign occurred in 1985, and that enabled maintenance across Delmont. And then 86, there was a Tiger Cub Fun Day, which I also believe 86 is the first year Tiger Scouts were a thing. So there's that emphasis on creating a program for them. And then single parent day events were added to give families a taste of scouting. And that's kind of as far as the book by our advisor Mike Comfort covers. He also wrote a splendid campground for the 100th anniversary of Delmont in 2016. But it, from here on out, it's kind of like my summary of Delmont from the late 80s to present, just because I have worked at Musser for 6 years. Has it been 6 years? I think so. Yeah, let's go with that. So, Delmont continued, of course, but kind of the next major guess, event was in 1996. You saw the merger of councils. So Philadelphia and Valley Forge councils merged, and then thus Delmont and Hart Scout reservations merged, and they were briefly called Delmont Hart Scout Reservation until it was renamed to Musser Scout Reservation after Warren P. Musser in 1998. And then Delmont today is used for weekend and event camping. People hold Klondikes. People just go there for like boating trips. I know my troop, we commonly camp at one of the lakefront Delmont sites, and we usually do a lot of like boating weekends, at least like once a year, if not more. We really enjoy Delmont. So that's kind of how Delmont is used today. Of course, you have MYLT at the Nelson Training Center, which is a very nice training center, might I add. And I remember when I was a Cub Scout, they still actually hosted day camps at Delmont for a few years. Uh, so Delmont was still used. And now today, there's the Adopt a Campsite or Cabin program. So if you're interested in that, I'm pretty sure it's on mussersr.org because Ranger Lynn is looking for folks to help adopt campsites and encourage that weekend camping at Delmont. So if you want to get involved with that, please do. Definitely need that. And then, yeah, so that is our Delmont series. Thank you all for kind of sticking around this long. And then next week, you're going to hear some stuff about Resca Falls. So until next time, stay safe and have a good day. I think that's what Luke says. Alrighty, bye.